For my capstone, I did an internship with Thermocopy, which is a business that sells copiers and provides service for them for the rest of their working life. At the beginning of high school, I always thought I would have plenty of time to figure out what I wanted to do for my capstone, but years of challenging academics and extracurricular activities proved me otherwise. It was the beginning of senior year, and I still did not know what I wanted to do. I was very passionate about tennis, so I thought about starting a tennis camp with Lonsdale kids, but it was too late to raise funds for transportation, rackets, etc. I also thought about shadowing a tennis pro, but I realized that that wouldn't be a possible career option for me. My parents have always told me that I would like accounting or finance, and so I didn't really know much about it, so I thought I would do an internship on that to see if it would be a possible career option for me. Elise DeNicola and I have been friends for several years, and I knew that her dad was the chief financial officer for Thermocopy. I asked him if he could mentor me, and thankfully he could squeeze me into his busy schedule. As you can see, this is an organizational chart, and these are all the people he is in charge of. There are many sales managers, account representatives, and creative directors, so I got a broad idea of what a general business was like. At the beginning of this project, I expected to get a general sense of accounting and finance and how that would incorporate into a daily work life. And while I did get a knowledge of accounting and finance, I got more of a general business knowledge with different areas of the company. I also expected to determine whether I would like to pursue this field as a possible career option, and while I'm still not sure, I definitely am more knowledgeable about it now than I was at the beginning. I was worried about how little I knew at the beginning, but Mr. DeNicola was very happy to answer any questions I had throughout the process. These are two of my certificates of completion for HIPAA certifications, and HIPAA is a federal privacy law, and you mainly only see that in medical fields to protect patient confidentiality, but many copier and printer companies have to complete these certifications as well because they do mass orders to hospitals and doctors' offices. The first day of my capstone, Mr. DeNicola took me through the employee orientation that they do for new employees. At the end of the orientation, he assigned me to read the StrengthsFinder book and to take the assessment and email him what my top 5 strengths were. My top 5, the goal of the StrengthsFinder is not to focus on your weaknesses, but to really excel in your strengths. My top 5 strengths were input, achiever, learner, competition, and focus. While I expected these to be my top strengths, I did not expect them to be in this order by all means. I also sat in on several conference calls with representatives throughout the nation that were presenting new website ideas or new company ideas for Thermocopy. This was one of the cubicles that I was able to use when processing journal entries and copying documents over to Excel. I got a vast knowledge in accounting in this cubicle. This is a $20,000 board, and the reason why it's so expensive is companies all throughout the nation can link up if they have this board and edit the same document at the same time in a live system. Mr. DeNicola was showing me the social selling index for each company and each employee, and he showed it the importance of how that can be in a company. One of the excursions we took was to a trophy shop on Kingston Pike, and Thermocopy had just completed a remodel, and so all their plaques had been outdated, so we were looking for a new plaque that looked more modern for the salespeople of the year. This project impacted me in several ways. I learned how important it was for a company to genuinely care about their employees and customers, and I learned what an extremely successful business looks like inside and out. I learned that a business could still be completely ethical while being successful, and this is their mission statement: one team with integrity, driven by excellence, creating raving fans, and that just shows how much they actually care about their customers, and they don't care that much about the sales. Their customers are always their number one priority. My perception changed a little bit from the beginning of this project. At the beginning, I expected to go in with just the numbers and facts about the company, but I was very surprised at the employees' rapport. The most important lesson I would take away from this is that if I got to be a high-level executive in a company, I would be expected to fill in the gaps in any area of the company that needs it. So I wouldn't necessarily be doing what I was an expert in, but I learned that I need to find a company where I enjoy every aspect, so that if I got to be a high-level executive, I would still love doing my job, even if it wasn't something I was very confident in. For example, at the beginning of my project, this was the conference room down in the lobby, and they wanted a little bit more privacy. So Mr. DeNicola and I oversaw the designers, and we helped pick out the vinyl decals to put on the glass to give it a little bit more privacy. If I could change anything from the beginning, it would be to acquire more knowledge about the basic principles of accounting and to acquire a little bit more knowledge about the business. But thankfully, Mr. DeNicola gave me some articles that showed what Thermocopy's motto was and all their accomplishments, so I could have a general sense of the company. I wish I had also provided an outline to him so that he would not have to provide everything for me. But I had never had experience with anything like this before, so I didn't really know where to start. The last thing I would change is I wish I had started earlier. While I'm still not sure exactly what I want to do, I plan to major in accounting or finance and pursue that in college, but I'm still undecided on the industry that I would like to go into. And thank you for listening.